Namaste, welcome to class. Today we're doing a 40-minute power yoga flow. It's pretty straightforward, however, it's not for beginners. We're gonna start flowing almost right off the bat. So it's important that you just stay with your breath, stay in your body, take breaks if you need to, and most importantly, enjoy. So girls in here, let's begin in downward facing dog. And just give yourself a few cycles of breath to arrive, feel your hands, feel your feet root down into the earth, and right away start to awaken that strong, rich Ujjayi pranayama, and just ultimately letting that breath carry you through this practice. All right, so those fingers are spread wide, the palms are rooted into the floor. On an inhale, shift forward to plank, shoulders stack right over your wrists. Lift those frontal hips, pull your chest out. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, hips reaching up out of your wrists, heels to whatever degree pressing into the floor. Inhale, come forward to plank, peeling your chin up off your chest. Exhale, navel pulls you back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. So of course, trying to coordinate these movements with your breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're gonna move on here. Inhale, come forward to plank and pause in this upper push-up. Lower down into a forearm plank, shoulders right over your elbows. So we'll do lots of different planks, whichever one it is. Make sure there's no mountains or valleys in your hips. If your butt is sticking up, you're gonna be out of your core. If your hips are sinking down, you're gonna be dumping into your low back. So obviously we want to avoid that. So breath is moving here. At the same time, watch out for any tension building up in that upper trapezius. So take those shoulder blades, slide them back. Last 5. Crown of the head extending forward. Last 3. So stable through the midsection of your body, press back up onto your hands, downward facing dog. Taking this next one to the floor, on an inhale, come forward to plank, and then slowly exhale all the way down to your belly, release your toes, lengthening your legs. So you want your elbows hugging in. On an inhale, low cobra, number 1. So first back bend of the class, nice and gentle. Exhale, lay back down. We'll do several more. Inhale, cobra, number 2, starting to open your chest up. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, number 3, so deepening as it feels appropriate. Exhale, back down. Inhale, number 4, walking that curve higher up your spine. Exhale, bring it back down. Pause. Let's take one up dog. So slide your hands back in line with your short ribs. And on an inhale, press up, upward facing dog. So those hips come off the floor, thighs are strong. As you root down through your inner palms, inner thighs towards the sky, take one more inhale, enjoy that. Exhale, roll right over your toes, back to downward facing dog. So we're at the top of this roller coaster. Here we go. Put your right knee on the mat just below your hip. Spin your left heel flat. When you're ready, float your left fingertips up towards the sky. And just imagine you have a wall behind you. So that right hip is hugging the center line. Float your left leg up parallel to the floor and dorsal flex that ankle. In other words, get some energy in that leg. Maintaining that height, bring that leg forward 90 degrees to your torso. And to sort of lighten the weight in your right shoulder, really energize up through those left fingertips. Same time, maintaining a brightness in your heart for 3. So just notice what's happening in your jaw and your lips. And then slowly bring your leg back down the center line. Seamlessly reach that left arm out over your ear. Shine that palm towards the floor as you rotate your ribs a little bit towards the sky for 3. Just let go of any stiffness that's building up. Let that energy flow. Left arm back up. Inhale. Hand flat to the floor. Now keep that leg reaching back. Close that hip. Right away, send your right arm forward in a handshake position. Make sure your foundation is strong. Now, as you reach out of your mid-body, getting really long, take an inhale. Exhale, elbow and knee come together, rounding your back. Inhale, extension. Exhale, contraction. Inhale, 3. Exhale, curl. Inhale, 2. Exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, curl it in. Hold that, activating your belly. And then inhale, extend your arm and your leg back out. Hold last 5. So make sure the back of the neck is free of tension. Your tailbone is soft. Now take these extended limbs, lift a little bit higher. One more inhale, put it all down. Dip your belly, lift your heart. Inhale, cow tilt. Round your back, exhale like a Halloween cat. Inhale, as you arch your spine, tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. So maintaining neutral hips, take an inhale. Slowly bring that knee to your nose. Stack your shoulders right over your wrists. Leg goes back, full inhale. Again, knee to your nose, activate your core. Last one, leg goes back, inhale. Knee to your nose, hold it. Now listen, arms are strong. Touch that knee to the floor. Lift it back up. Touch the knee down. Zip it up. Last one, touch down. Zip up, hold. Bring that knee a little further forward. Step that foot between your hands. Step left foot up to right. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, fly to standing, arms reach up, gathering. Hands to your heart, exhale. Inhale, sweep it up, sink that tail. Dive it out and fully exhale. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, step or jump back, Vinyasa. So if for any reason you do need to conserve energy in today's practice, skipping vinyasas is a possibility. All right, so put your left knee on the mat, spin your right heel flat. When you're ready, don't lift, but rather float your right fingertips up towards the sky. My apologies if I keep rubbing my nose, getting over a little bit of a cold, so I'm just gonna get that over with. All right, so engaging your core, float your right leg up parallel to the floor. Dorsal flex that ankle, so in other words, your heels piercing that back wall, maintaining that height, it's a lot of core. Bring that leg forward 90 degrees to your torso, and of course, doing all this really challenging stuff without compromising your breath. For 3, lighten your jaw, lighten your eyes. Bring that leg back down the center line and extend that upper arm out over your ear, but keep that left shoulder blade hugging the back body so you're solid through your foundation. Arm back up, inhale, hand flat to the floor. Keep that leg reaching back. Send your left arm straight forward so that left arm is an extension of your waistline. So really reaching out of the mid-body, take an inhale, elbow, knee come together. Exhale that air. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, 3. Exhale, contract. Inhale, 2, longer. Exhale, round. Last one, inhale, reach out really long. Exhale, curl it in. Hold that exhale out, lift your belly. Inhale, extend your arm and your leg and pause. So pressing the floor away. Just make sure there's no tension in your neck, shoulders, out of your ears, and even here the frontal hips lift a little bit. One more inhale, put it all down. Dip your belly, lift your heart, inhale. Round your back, exhale, drop your head. Inhale, arch your back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, moving things right along. Lift your left leg up behind you. So really stretching through that inner thigh and foot. Take an inhale, knee to your nose, shoulders stack right over your wrists. Leg goes back. Full inhale, knee to your nose. Leg back, inhale, last one. Knee to your nose, consolidating your energy. Arms are strong. Touch that knee to the floor. Lift it up strong. Touch it down. Zip it up. Touch it down. Last one, zip it up. Hold. Bring the knee forward more. Step that foot through. Step right foot up to left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, fly to standing. Energize your fingertips. Hands to heart, back to your center. Inhale, sweep it up, gathering energy. Dive it out, exhale. Inhale, halfway up, listen, step to plank and pause. So shoulders right over your wrists, frontal hips lifted. Lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale, so there's no arch in your low back. Take an inhale, knee to your right tricep. Hold that plank. Leg back, inhale, knee to your left elbow. Leg back, inhale, knee to your chest. Step that foot through, stay on your back toes. Pull your heart center forward, run your arms down your ribs so you have an aerodynamic shape. Focus on a lot of length through your front spine so there's absolutely no hump in your low back. Now staying low, send your arms forward in line with your ears. Slide those shoulder blades back. From your feet, inhale, rise to crescent. And just right away, lifting the frontal hips, softening the ribs, softening the shoulders. Lean forward, launch into warrior three. Just working that standing leg, build from the floor up. So you're grounded through all four corners. Then you're really radiating out of your center line. Now staying light in your body, ideally without making any sort of a sound, step back to crescent pose. As you gaze up towards the sky, take one more inhale, fully express it. Vinyasa. So these guys make this practice look so easy. Folks at home, do the best that you can. Most importantly, make sure that you're in the flow of your breath. Shift forward to plank. So just pause for a second. Make sure those shoulder blades slide down the back. Your neck is free. Lift your left leg up. Tail is soft. Take an inhale. Knee to your left tricep. Leg back. Inhale. Right elbow. Leg back. Inhale. Lastly, knee into your chest. Step that foot through, stay on your right toes. Pull your heart center forward, thread your arms down your ribs. So literally like you're going to take off and fly through that front wall. Now staying low, send your arms forward in line with your ears and feel that purifying fire building up inside of you. Inhale, rise to crescent. Right, so when your frontal hips lift up, that's going to help you close your ribs and stay connected to your core. Now, light as a feather, lean forward, launch into warrior three. So let your arms expand out to the side and your hands float up just a little bit higher than your shoulders. Lot of length through your front spine for three. So Lara, maybe you could bring your torso down just a little bit. A lot of work in your core, 2. Quietly, lightly, step it back into crescent pose. Gazing and reaching up. Take one more full inhale. Vinyasa, or just right back to down dog to conserve a little energy. All right, so moving right along, lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Bring your knee to your right tricep. Get your shoulders over your wrists. So make sure you're solidly on your palms. And from your core, add a pulse. So it's almost no movement. It's so deep in your core, you're focusing on lifting without rebounding. 5, 4, a lot of work in that right oblique. 2, 1, leg back, take a full inhale, reset. Knee to your left elbow. So pause here, thread that right leg through, peel your left arm open towards the sky. So you're gonna roll to the inner edge of that left foot. Option to lift that right leg off the floor, which is going to involve more core. So hopefully you are breathing. The shoulder blades are plugged in. Your heart center is bright. Take one more inhale. Left hand to the floor. Send that right leg back. Take an inhale. Knee to your chest. Step that foot through. Come into crescent pose on your inhale. And then once again, lightly launch forward into warrior 3. So when we repeat postures like crescent warrior 3, it's just your opportunity to subtly refine it. So feel your energy consolidating in towards the center line, softening the edges a little bit. So solid in that right foot. Listen, you guys, slowly come up to standing, hug your left knee into your chest. So just show your balance. Take an inhale. And this should feel good. Put your left foot back down on the floor. We're going to switch legs, so pay attention at home. Standing on your right leg. So before you do that, actually, open your left palm to the sky. So elbow in towards your waist. Shifting the weight into your right leg. Dancer's pose. Grab your left foot from the inside. So you want to grab from the inner arch. Your thumb is pointing back. Think about hitchhiking. There you go, with that foot. Then zip up your inner knees, reach your right arm towards the sky. Think Dhanurasana. So your hips are coming forward, your heart is lifting up. Now start to track your knees straight back and kick that foot into your hand. So don't underestimate the kicking. At the same time, keep your core strong. That's going to help you stay out of your low back. So kick and reach and breathe. 4. And to whatever degree feels appropriate, you're hinging forward with your torso. 3. Maintain quality control with your breath. Face is soft. So continuing to kick. Slowly come up to standing. Once again, show your balance. Take another inhale. Release that foot, relax your arms down by your side, relax your shoulders. Switch legs. So dancer's pose, Nataraja Asana. Take your right elbow into your waist. Your palm is turned up, your thumb is pointing back. Shifting the weight into your left leg, grab your right foot from the inside, so the inner arch of your foot, and then zip up those inner knees, close them, reach your left arm towards the sky. Press your hips forward and engage your core. So this is a deep back bend. As you lift up through your heart, now start to kick that foot back, and when it feels appropriate, start to hinge forward. You just want to make sure you don't get too overambitious with bringing your torso forward and losing that really nice bow shape. For 5, so you're kicking strongly, don't underestimate that. 4, you're reaching, and of course, you're breathing. 3. So continuing to kick that foot, slowly come up to standing, show your balance, take an inhale, release everything down, arms by your side, relax your shoulders. Switching back to your right leg, float your left knee up towards the sky, and then reach your arms up. So palms are facing one another, drop those shoulder blades down. Lengthening through your side body, take an inhale, come back to warrior three, and spread those wings as you exhale. So again, getting your mind's eye back into your right foot, very light in your body without making any sort of a sound. If possible, step back into crescent pose. Now with your center of gravity pretty low here, that belly zipped up, bring your hands into prayer in front of your heart, hook that left tricep to the outside of your right knee. Focus each inhale on lengthening. So feel that line of energy from your back heel all the way through the crown of your head, so make sure that leg is straight. And each exhale, deepening the twist where your navel gets closer to your spine. Right, so with your mind's eye back in your feet, return to crescent pose, gazing and reaching skyward. Take one more full inhale. Open up to warrior two as you exhale. So right away, set your gaze out of your right middle finger. Get your front knee tracking with your toes. Just check your breath. Rich, resonant Ujjayi pranayama. Feeling that vibratory quality coming from the base of your throat. Last 5. Just using each exhale to tenderize and empty yourself of unnecessary tension. 3. So melting down with that left hip and sit bone, finding that edge, take one more inhale, press your right leg straight. Now tilting that right hip back, inhale, reach for the front wall, exhale, Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. So ultimately, you could do triangle pose without any weight in that right arm. So if your wrist was an issue, regardless, issue in your wrist or not, put a lot of energy into that left arm so you can really lighten through that right arm and shoulder. In triangle pose, your heart is about as bright as ever without any sort of a back bend. Last 5. Keep drinking energy up from the soles of your feet. Those thighs are hugging into the femur bones. Right, so keeping this alignment, left plane stacked on top of the right. Turn your gaze down about 1 foot in front of your toes. Softening that front knee, transition into Ardha Chandrasana. As that left leg comes up, dorsal flex that ankle, ensuring that you can see those toes in your peripheral vision. Now keep that right hip hugging in towards the center line. So especially for the girls in here, see if you can float that right hand above the floor. 5. And just putting more work into your core. 3. Now everyone, radiating out of your center line, take one more inhale breath. Left hand lightly to the floor. Release your head, relax your neck. Walk your hands in to frame that right foot. And if you want, you could even grab a hold of that right leg. Last 5. As you work your standing leg, reach through the ball of your left foot as if you're pressing into an imaginary wall. And then from that left seat, lift up to kiss that edge. Last inhale, feet together. Inhale, flat back. Forward fold. So we've been pretty much non-stop movement. We're going to take a bit of a stretch here. So step your left foot back into a high lunge, so approximately 1 leg's distance. Release your left knee to the mat, slide it back a couple inches. Ardha Hanumanasana. As you reverse your hips backward, pull that right leg straight, flex that ankle. So you have a micro bend in that right knee. On an inhale, pull your navel and your chest out. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. So I'd like you to focus more on maintaining length between your navel and your chest than on laying your torso on your thigh. So in other words, completely removing the hump out of your back. So perhaps that right hip crease can pull back a little bit. The heart center can extend forward a little bit more. And you're breathing right into the belly of that hamstring. Just giving it some love. Last 5. Relax your face. Shoulders out of your ears. And then coming out, re-bend your right knee, coming into a lunge. Tuck your left toes under, press that leg straight. Step back to plank, take an inhale. Exhale, lower slow. Inhale, coil it up, wrap those shoulders. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up behind you. Sealed with your palms. Take an inhale. Knee to your left tricep. So just stabilize. And then from that deepest point, add a pulse from your core. So it's different than your hip flexor. From deep in your belly. 4, 3, lifting higher. 2, 1, leg back, inhale, reset. Knee to your right elbow. This one's kind of fun. Thread that leg through. Peel your right arm towards the sky. It's a little more back bendy than Vashisthasana, but along the same lines. Option to float that left leg up for 3. If you're going deeper, make sure you're not compromising your breath to do it. Heart bright. Take one more inhale. Plant that right palm down. Send your left leg back. Take an inhale. Knee to your chest. Step that foot through. Come up to crescent as you inhale. All right, so this whole sequence is starting to come back to you. Lean forward, launch into warrior 3. So first round of it, spread those wings, enjoy. So if your bandhas, if that low belly, mula bandha are engaged, you should ultimately feel, regardless of your weight on a scale, you should feel light as a feather. Now zipped up through that left inner leg. Slowly come up to standing. Hug your right knee into your chest. Take an inhale, and then softly place that right foot down. So again, take note, our leg switch. Standing on your right leg, grab your left foot from the inside, so your palm is turned out. The soft part of the elbows open towards the side. Zip up those inner knees, reach your right arm towards the sky, and go for it, dancer's pose. So a balancing back bend. Make sure your core is engaged. So even here, your frontal hips are lifting, helping you distribute that curve nice and evenly throughout your back. For 5. Kicking and reaching and breathing. 4. And if you find you're teetering, you're falling out, it's all a part of the practice. Just keep breathing, pick yourself back up. Now, continuing to kick that foot. Return to a standing position. Show your balance. Take an inhale. Lovely. Put everything down. Relax your arms by your side, palms facing forward. And then reach your arms up towards the sky, palms facing one another. Float your right knee up towards your chest. So again, we're standing on that left leg. Reaching waist through fingertips, take an inhale, dive forward to warrior 3. So make sure you bring your torso down parallel to the floor. You'll really feel the difference in your core. Without making any sort of a sound, step it back into crescent pose. With that center of gravity low, bring your hands into a prayer position. Hook right tricep to the outside of your left knee. So oftentimes when you go for that hook, there's a tendency to round there, which is fine. Press your palms and use that to peel your chest open, feel a certain degree of cobra. You have some width through your collarbones. 4, the back of the neck is an extension of the spine. Now from your feet, come back to crescent pose, gazing and reaching up. Take one more full inhale. Warrior 2, as you exhale, we have a little bit of a hold. So if it feels good to close your eyes or you don't often do it, you might want to try it. Just feeling your body's orientation to space. Last 4. And just seeing how you can subtly refine it without feeling like you're forcing your body into the posture. All right, so melting down into your deepest lunge, kissing that. Take one more inhale, press that front leg straight. Tilting that left hip back. Inhale, reach long through your waistline. Exhale, where that hand naturally lands. So imagine in triangle, you're trying to compress your body in between 2 panes of glass. You want to line your torso with that left leg. 5. So again, get out of that left shoulder, really energize quite a bit through your right arm and fingertips. 3. Make sure both thighs are engaged strongly. Fantastic. 2. Now turn your gaze down about 1 foot in front of your toes, softening that front knee. Gracefully make your transition to Ardha Chandrasana. So flexing that ankle, in other words, toes pull back towards your chest and your face. And that left hip is hugging in. So it's that left hip drawing in that externally rotates that right one. 5. So just like triangle, the right plane of your body continues to stack on top of the left. So maybe levitating that left hand. 3. Showing your strength, showing your balance. Take one more inhale. Right hand lightly to the floor. Release your head, release your neck. This is the last part of the sequence. So make sure your left foot is framed. If not, taking your left forearm and hooking it behind that calf like Lara. Last 5. Get both legs as straight as you can. And then from your right seat, as opposed to that foot, lift up, kiss that edge. Final inhale, feet together. Inhale, flat back. You made it. Forward fold. All right, so taking that stretch, step your right foot back into a high lunge. Immediately melt that knee into the floor, slide it back a few inches, and then slowly reverse your hips into half splits. As your hips draw back, on an inhale, reach out through your heart center, and exhale, hinge from your hips as opposed to rounding from your back. Just let the back side of your leg soak that up. So perhaps close your eyes and massage your breath up and down the back side of that leg. So in other words, breathing right into the epicenter of that stretch. Last 5. Your shoulders nicely out of your ears, free of tension. 3, belly's lifted, kissing the spine. And then rebend that left knee, coming forward into a lunge. Tuck your right toes under, press that leg straight. Step back to plank and pause. Now this is a little bit different than what we usually do. Take your right knee to your right tricep. That knee to your left elbow. Come back to your right tricep, back to plank. Left knee to your left tricep, right elbow, left tricep, back to planks. So continue with that sequence of movements, maybe 15, 20 seconds. You can go slow and really touch each point, or you can kind of flow through it. So comprehensively working through the abdominal wall. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, check your jaw. Last 4, 3, 2, come back to plank on 1, hold, last 3. Lengthening out of your shoulder head, shoulder blades down the back. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Pigeon. Knee to your right wrist. Melt your hips evenly into the floor. Extend out through your front spine and dive right in. So we'll take one last quick stretch before we rest. Close your eyes, let the floor support you, and really immerse yourself in your breath. Because once we get to Shavasana very shortly, you'll let all that go. So Ujjayi Pranayama, deep and audible, like you're pulling through the base of your throat, right in between your shoulder blades. Let's take 3 more cycles of breath. Notice how relaxed your face is. And then walk your hands up, tuck your left toes under, step back to down dog, right leg reaching up towards the sky. Just briefly externally rotate that hip, bend your knee, reach it straight back and up, downward facing dog. Switching sides, inhale, left leg reaches up, exhale, knee to your left wrist. So just make sure your right leg is coming straight back out of your hip. Your right knee is on the floor, the top of your hip. The top of your foot, your right hip is shining straight down. Last thing before you rest is taking some really nice, deep, self-soothing breaths. You've worked really hard. Now start to let yourself chill out. A few more breaths. And just scan your body. Make sure there's no gripping whatsoever. Couple more breaths. And then girls, we're going to come out a little bit differently. Walk your hands up. It'll probably be in Mary's way. Lean into your left hip. Circle your right leg around. Lay right down onto your back. Yay. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift your forehead up towards your knees. Take one more big inhale. Squeeze it all. Exhale, let it go. Shavasana, well-deserved. Enjoy it, even if it's just a minute. If you have the opportunity and luxury to stay longer, that's always of great benefit. Thank you so much for joining. Have a fantastic rest of your day or your evening. Namaste.